Hi friends, this is CA Kiran Kumar. In this video, let's discuss about corporate social responsibility. Who is mandatorily required to spend on CSR activities basically as per Companies Act. As per section 135(1) of the Companies Act, any of the following conditions are satisfied by the company during the immediate preceding financial year is required to spend at least 2% of average net profit earned during the immediate preceding 3 financial year towards corporate responsibility. They need to spend if their net worth of rupees 500 crores or more, or the turnover 1000 crores or more, or the net profit of rupees 5 crores or more. If any one of these condition is satisfied, then they are required to spend on CSR activities as per section 135(1). Here net worth means paid up capital plus reserves minus accumulated loss plus deferred revenue expenditure and miscellaneous expenditure not written off. We should deduct from these paid up capital and reserves. And we have two major confusions or questions involved in under GST with regard to CSR. The main confusions are the availability of input on the procurement of goods for performing CSR activities, and the second confusion is, can we charge GST on the supply of CSR activity? So let us clarify these two confusions. So basically, for availability or non-availability of input tax credit of CSR activity, two provisions comes into play. Section 16 subsection 1 and section 17 subsection 5 of CGST Act. As per 16 subsection 1 of CGST Act, the registered person will be allowed to avail input tax credit of all inward supplies which are being used or intended to be used in the course or furtherance of business. But as per GST Act, there is no definition of in the course or furtherance of business. But we can interpret that the company falls under section 135 of subsection 1 of the Companies Act are mandatorily required to comply with the CSR provisions. Non-compliance of these provisions as per Companies Act will have negative repercussions on the business. Hence, conclusively, it is said that the CSR expenditure is incurred in the course of furtherance of business. And accordingly, the companies will eligible to avail input tax credit on inputs or input services used towards performing CSR activities. So they can take the input on procuring of goods for the supply of CSR activities according to this provision. However, here exactly 17 subsection 5 clause H comes into play. As per section 17 subsection 5 clause H, notwithstanding to anything contained under section 16 subsection 1, input credit shall not be availed in respect of goods lost, stolen, destroyed, written off, or disposed by way of gift or free samples. So, department will stress on this section and generally opposing the availment of ITC on the basis of restrictions imposed under 17 subsection 5 as per GST Act. But we have some favorable advance ruling judgments from the latest favorable advance ruling from the Uttar Pradesh advance ruling that they are allowing the applicant to claim the input tax credit on the CSR activities by saying that the CSR activities for the companies which falls under section 135 of the company are to be treated in the course or furtherance of business, and subsequently they are allowed to claim the input. If the CSR activities are incurred voluntarily without falling under section 135 of the Companies Act, will be qualified as gift, and input cannot be availed by imposing the section 17 subsection 5 clause H of CGST Act. Accordingly, they are not eligible to claim the input. We can move to the point number 2, that is, shall we charge GST on the supply of CSR activities? The transaction will be treated as supply if the following conditions are satisfied, that is, supply of either goods or services or both, or it should be in the course or furtherance of business, and the supply made for a consideration. Schedule 1 of CGST Act, this is regarding supply. In the GST series, I am clearly explaining about the Schedule 1 of CGST Act and next part, that is supply under GST. So please follow the GST series. I am mentioning the same on the description. So the services which falls under schedule 1, which are treated to be a supply even without consideration, the CSR activity comes under this clause. Then we can conclude that the supply of goods or services are both by way of CSR activity would be qualified as supply and accordingly attract GST, so that we can charge GST on the CSR activity as well. So this is for the day. Thank you very much. For more interesting updates and important contents, please follow my channel. This is Kiran Kumar signing off.